What's going on, Group Coach Nation? Hope everybody's rocking this awesome day. So, I get questions all the time, as y'all know. I love doing Q&A in our live stuff here. So this question comes up kind of frequently in calls when people are talking to me or somebody else. What's up, Danny? Me or somebody else in our community. And they're trying to sort out, like, how are they pricing their mastermind, or they've been part of other masterminds. And they're like, I don't think that was a mastermind. I think that was just an expensive e-course where some coach or consultant dumped a whole bunch of recorded content in a membership portal and then hosted a Facebook group and did Q&A once a month or once a week or something like that. So you watch the stuff, show up for Q&A. Let's define terms here, folks. When it comes to, and obviously, Group Coach Nation here, we do all kinds of group coaching things and talk about those structures. But truly, the pinnacle of that group coaching experience, the ones that make the most transformation happen, are masterminds. It's just no way around it. Masterminds work the best. But here's the thing. A lot of people in the market have started calling, over the past couple of years, I'd say 3 or 4 years, have started calling their e-courses that come with a Facebook group and weekly Q&A call a mastermind. That is truly not a mastermind, okay? If you're building a mastermind out there and you're really wanting to do it right, it's gonna be you and a collection of 10 to 20 people typically. It could be 50 people, but a smallish group where you're actually able to interact and have a real impact on every person in that group, all right? That's why masterminds are more expensive, by the way. It's because they're actually really interacting with the people. So you can scale from one-on-one to done-for-you services. You can scale up and be way more effective with a mastermind, but you can't make it 1,000 people. All right, if there are hundreds of people in a group and everybody's paying for a mastermind, that's not a mastermind. Honestly, when it gets past about 50 people, it's no longer a mastermind, because it's really hard to mastermind with a group that size. At some point, the audience size gets too big to be truly transformational for the people who are in there. Okay, so I'm not knocking e-courses at all right? At all. Yeah, the learning pattern that comes from e-course is way weaker, and the transformation level is like statistically significantly weaker than in a more direct connection with a coach or host of a group. Now, here's the flip side of that. You can go too far. One-on-one coaching and consulting is less transformational, statistically way less transformational than some sort of group mastermind. The sweet spot in all of this, as humans, we learn better in communities, okay? But recorded material and huge groups don't help get that recorded material kind of delivered into us so we can make it practical. Like, oh, thanks for teaching me marketing, but I don't know how to quite make that one thing right for me and my business. Those questions, masterminds really work for. All right, the other extreme, this one-on-one consulting and coaching thing, which we've all done, right? And there's no wrong about it. It's just less transformational. You will help people at a lower level when you're doing one-on-one consulting. It's just the way it is. People in small groups, like 10, 15, 20 person groups, actually transform faster than they do with a one-on-one relationship with a coach. Because there's this awesome thing that we do as people by learning from each other and seeing other circumstances kind of growing around us. That makes a huge difference. So, all that to say, let's go back to our original question. Is this an expensive e-course, or is it a mastermind? How do you know which is which? Honestly, if there's more than 50 people in a group, it's not a mastermind anymore. It's really hard to justify that, okay? I'm open to suggestions like, well, Chris, I found this in the mastermind. This is a really good one. There was 60 people in it or 100 people in it. Awesome. Shoot me a message. Let me know. I'd love to take a peek at it. But this is all I do, folks. We have thousands of people coming through Group Coach Nation, building all sorts of groups. And the mastermind model is the pinnacle of the group coaching model. Group coaching is more effective when it's a small group than one-on-one consulting, and definitely way more effective than just buying an e-course with a limited amount of connection, like via Facebook group or a weekly chat or Q&A session with somebody on that team. What's up, guys? So great to see you guys. So that's the answer to the question, all right? There's a clear difference between a mastermind. Now, there's this other gray area, right? We have our e-courses on one side where it's just full on masses, right? And we have our one-on-one coaching and consulting or done for you service on the other side, where it's really limited, it really hurts your scale, and it honestly hurts the transformation of people you're helping. Then there's these mastermind and other group forms in the middle, all right? There is this other model. It's not pure on mastermind, where it's not like 10, 15, 20 people with a expert and you're all going through it in an intimate way. There's like this other model where it's kind of like a larger group. It could be, let's say, 50 to 100 people, and there's a lot of course-driven material in there, right? But it's still not just full-on e-course, right? That's still better than an e-course. I'm not knocking the 200, 300, 500 people groups. Just simply don't call it a mastermind. It's not a mastermind. It is a group coaching model that's part delivered by an e-course model and part delivered by a strong community or consulting group. If you're thinking about building one of these models, whichever format we're talking, you just want to really think that through. What are you actually trying to accomplish, all right? Are you trying to actually accomplish a true evergreen model e-course where you never have to have any interaction at all? And that's on the far extreme of e-course. Do you want that, oh, I just really want awesome one-on-one connection? Then stick with one-on-one consulting and coaching. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not as effective for you or the people you're helping. If you want that really strong connection, you could do that in a group of 5. You know, if you just really want a small group, have 5 people. You don't have to have 10 people. If you want something more impactful than e-courses, because we all know that's a lot of weak spots in there, but you still want that extremely scalable model, then visit one of those group coaching models, kind of tiptoe into that, where you can actually like have some interaction on a weekly basis, let's say, with your group, or a monthly basis, but it still be heavily e-course driven, so it really minimizes the time that you have to spend and really helps you scale. It's not a bad model, it's just not as effective as the pure mastermind. The pure mastermind is the pinnacle. That's why everybody you see that's leading awesome communities, like the big names that you think of right now, you're thinking of 2 or 3 huge names. Think of them. Yep. That person. That's why that person has a true mastermind in their value ladder. All right? That's why. Here's the cool myth about that, though, and we can talk about this another day. That value ladder doesn't have to have the mastermind as the thing you work up to, lots of little steps going up to the mastermind. You can actually start with the mastermind. If you want to sell your information or expertise, you can actually start with the mastermind. That's what I did. So so many other experts I know have done, and then they've built out the lower end parts of the value ladder from the mastermind material they trained. You get paid well when you do a mastermind. It's scalable, and it allows you to get paid while you're building everything else. That's magic, right? Hey, that's what we're here to do. If you want more info, as always, go to groupcoachnation.com. Ask your questions here in our communities. We will answer your questions. You see us doing that all the time. Love doing this. Okay, keep rocking it, folks. You got this. Define that model that you want to have. Get away from the e-course model unless you want full-on evergreen. But if you really want transformation for your people, get a little more interaction in there. Get away from the one-on-one consulting unless you just really only want to handle one person at a time. If you want more scalability, bring it back in a little bit, get some group stuff going. That mastermind is the pure diamond, the top of the pyramid, if you want to say it that way. Everything else kind of fans out from them, okay? That's it. Hope that helps. I know it's a lot of information. We see a lot of those models here at Group Coach Nation. Everybody kind of does something different. So find your spot. It's okay. Find your spot and then do the work to get the results, as we always say. The trick is do the right work. Don't just go out there and start creating what you've seen someone else do. Like, ask your questions here, folks. I promise you, ask your questions. We'll get you answers. Do the right work, because you can totally crush this model. All right, that's all we got. Y'all have an awesome day. Can't wait to connect again. Ask your questions. We'll be right here with you.